to the Sportz Nutz.
Yes. Welcome to yet another great episode of the Sportz Nutz. We hope you guys have had a great week so far. I know that a lot has taken place actually this past week. Real quick, want to give a special shout out to everybody who is listening on 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas, TigerNation.live, which airs in Texas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, and the other 8 radio stations that we air on, as well as the 38 countries we also air in. Thank you guys so much. Y'all, I want to say this before I get into introductions. I'm so honored about what I'm about to share. And my man sitting next to me is also part of it. My man below me, literally, dude, I had one of my favorite guys here. And then my man sitting catty corner to me, Shane Owen, is also part of this. All right, so Tony, I've shared the news with you many times, but I had not shared it with the fans. So I'm going to do this now. Y'all, episode 200. My man sitting right here, Tony, is a part of this. You ready to hear this, Shane? Marcus, ready to hear this?
Let's hear it.
35,302 views just on episode 200. Can we get a round of applause, please? Let's go. That is what's up. That is amazing. And also, we have hit our year-end goal on subscribers already. We're at 4,632 to be exact on the subscribers. I am so elated. I am thankful. I mean, we have you guys that have been a part of this growth. So excited. And, so I've upped the year-end goal to 8,500 subscribers. I think we can do it by the end of this year. Absolutely. But, yo, we have such a jam, and I mean literally jam-packed, stacked episode. I mean, as you guys see, we have 2 of our favorite guests here, Marcus and Seven, as also known as Tony. Real quick, my man Shane, how you been, man? How has the week been so far for you, sir?
Man, week's been good. Finally warming up. I guess we're gonna have this false spring, and probably some winter
Fall
here.
summer, fall summer.
Yeah, but then probably have another week or so of winter, and then get back in the spring full fledged. So definitely glad to see that, man. With the warming up, you get to go outdoors more. I definitely had an itch. I wanted to go play about 9 holes this afternoon, as nice as it was. But man, other than that, it's been a great day. It's hump day, middle of the week. As I always say, it's only downhill from here.
We made it. Hey, my man's sitting below me, Mr. Marcus. What is up, my brother? How are you doing, man?
What's up, guys? What's going on? Doing great. Feeling great. There's so much that's kicked off in this short week. I mean, wow, what a week to be able to cover and talk about sports. This is the time that I love being a sports pundit, is right when you think it's about to be this lull. Baseball hasn't started yet, football's ended, basketball playoffs haven't started just yet, and all of a sudden, bam! We got news just jumping off the page left and right. And of course, who's leading the way but the NFL?
Yep, absolutely. We saw someone that you would never think they'd get waived. They got waived today. Yes. So, oh my God, Tony, though, man, what's up, brother? How have you been, my man? Dude, I saw the new logo this morning with your MLB Minute. Oh man, how you been, brother?
Man, if I was any better, they'd start dropping my medication down. I think that's where I'm at right now. It's I'm doing all right. I thank you for having me. I appreciate you. And congratulations to all of you guys on the amazing view count for the 200th episode. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm seriously in sticker shock. And the person who told me that we hit our 4,500 subscribers he's no longer with our show, but Brian Pettit. He said, "Hey, you guys are at 4,500." I'm like, "Wait, we are?" He's like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Holy moly!" I was blown away, and I'm like, "Wow, this is awesome!" But really excited to have you guys, have everybody tuning in tonight. We have so much talk. As you see, we have our 2 guests on, and then after they leave, we're going to talk some baseball. We're talking about the fact that yes, Jeff Francoeur, He is staying long term with TNT. We'll talk a little bit about that one. And then the softball rankings for college softball have come out. There's a new name on that list. We'll talk about those in just a little bit as well. And then this question that I have for everybody, okay? It goes out to Shane, Matt, literally everybody who is watching. Baseball season is upon us, meaning quality time watching America's pastime with family and friends. So it got me wondering, what is your go-to food and drink of your choice, or I should say your favorites, whenever you go watch America's pastime? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Shane has a sports story. I have a sports story to share. And then we have our favorite, which is the honorable mentions, where we give you 2 to 4 stories that usually the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of, or they just don't cover, period. Before we go into our questions, I do want to give a moment of silence. We did lose a legend in the football world today. We had made mention about this about a week ago that he was in hospice care, but the late, now unfortunate, great Lou Holtz passed away today at the age of 89. Really sad. He basically revolutionized a lot of what we see today in football based off of him. He did a lot of good things and for a lot of great programs. He was a great humanitarian as well. Shane alluded to this a while back that it was always fun to watch him and Mark May back and forth arguing. And but it's sad to say goodbye to Lou Holtz. So real quick, we're going to give a quick moment of silence for Lou Holtz. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, let's get into it. We have my man sitting below me, Mr. Marcus. Man, we've had a lot of sports news happen in the last couple of hours, right? I mean, the Blackhawks made a pretty big trade the other day. Connor Murphy, he's been traded to the Edmonton Oilers. And from what they were saying on ESPN, that made Edmonton an instant playoff contender. Why do you think Chicago traded away such a good piece, knowing now that he has a chance to win where he is at?
Well, it was in exchange for 2028 second round pick. Connor Murphy is 32 years old. The Blackhawks are not going to the playoffs. I think that's kind of the signal that happened right there, that they're saying they're waving the proverbial white flag, and they're looking to get more assets for the future, which is a smart move, because that's what it's really about with the Blackhawks right now. It's about the future. It's not about the now. And Edmonton is about the now, and that's why they made the move, because they're trying to make a push. I mean, really look at their division. I mean, they got in 62 games played, they're 30 wins and 24 losses. So they're a viable team to make a run for the Stanley Cup, and they're getting a guy that is a veteran. He knows how to play. He's gonna be a huge addition for this team, and I think I think it's more about that. Me being a Blackhawk fan, me being a Chicago guy, I'm looking at it more that it's more about Edmonton and what they're trying to accomplish in the now. And the Blackhawks had a player that could provide that, as opposed to that the Blackhawks gave up somebody that was a key piece, because in the grand scheme of things, what this team, the Blackhawks, are trying to accomplish, he was not going to be a part of the long-term plans. And if you look in where they're sitting in the Central, the Blackhawks are definitely done for the season. They've got 23 wins, 28 losses. They're done, right? Let's just call that what it is. They'll be preparing for Cancun soon enough. So hey, they could go let a veteran go play meaningful hockey and late in the season. I think that it really is the right move for all parties involved.
And not to sound silly before I go to Shane, you guys know that we're a year out of the infamous Edmonton Oiler shower. Do you guys know what that meant, right? Right, Tony, you know what that means? Marcus, you know what that means, right?
What do you mean?
So there is a young lady. She does stuff with OnlyFans, and she's an adult actor now, but she decided to lift her shirt up a year ago in a meaningful game.
Oh, okay. I remember
showed
that.
her chest, And
Yes,
Edmonton went on this
yes, okay.
crazy run they went on a crazy run, but it's been a year since we've had the infamous flasher. So people are starting to bring those videos back up. Maybe they're trying to channel the inner opportunity to have
Oh my
Edmonton win.
goodness.
Somebody just needs to
Oh
buy
my
her a ticket.
goodness. You know, people nowadays, man, anything to promote themselves, let me tell
Oh,
you.
yeah,
But
anything nowadays.
but if it helps Edmonton, you know what? You go ahead and do your thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, Marcus. Well, as we saw this weekend, some elite athletes of college football took to Indianapolis to participate in the NFL Combine,
Yes.
and man,
Yes.
did some of them show out this year? But a lot of the players out there, their measurables are becoming off the chart. Who, in your opinion, had some of the best combine performances, and who are your Bears looking at with that 25th pick, according to the combine results?
Well, I mean, here's the thing too. You got to understand, and I'm wholeheartedly believe this without a doubt that the combine is nothing more than where front office people can secretly meet and make private business deals without being caught and being accused of tampering. Because uh, the combine, the measurables, they mean something. The workouts, not so much, because the tape is the tape. Jeremiah Love is going to be the first running back selected. His participation in the combine is just, I think that that's more for show in a lot of ways, because I mean, he did exactly what you knew he was gonna do. It wasn't like he did something different. Now, I will give credit to the guys that the combine, I think, does kind of bolster for, is a person like Mike Washington Jr., and he really impressed me with his 40. And I think that his stock has uh, skyrocketed now because of that. But I mean, outside of a guy like that, I mean, most guys came in at the combat and did exactly what you thought they were going to do. The top prospects, to me, uh, showed out and showed exactly what are the top prospects. Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon, great workout, showed his athletic ability. So I I love the combine just for the fact that, like I said, it's a great meeting ground. It's a great place to get insider information about teams and what their plan is for the new season. But yeah, I guess the only thing really that came from me from the combine was like sometimes players can get hurt by it. And look what happened to Ruben Bain in Miami. Now his measurables are not exactly what I guess people consider to be the best in terms of arm length. And I think that being a participant in the combine and those measurables probably actually hurt his draft stock a little bit.
Who is the one? Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I kind of agree with this too. I feel like the combine has lost a little bit of its luster as time has gone by. But then also, there's that risk of, oh God, there could be a real injury. And we saw an injury happen. A young man tore his ACL, during combine. He came and killed it on his lifts afterwards. But it's still sad that's going on with regards to what has really transpired. I mean, I remember I used to line up and be like, man, I can't wait to watch the combine. It's a lot of fun. Now it's just, I mean, that's just kind of how things have gone, unfortunately. So it's just weird, man. Tony, I got to go on this. We got to talk about this. We have to, and I want to hear Shane and I want to hear Marcus on this too. Jerkson Profar, dude, what in the world, Tony? This time it's the entire season. Basically, no, it's not this the entire season. He's done. He ain't ever allowed to step foot back in Atlanta, Georgia as a Braves player. Should Alex Anthopoulos and the entire Braves organization apologize to the fans for keeping him? Or what should happen what should they do now that this is the another failed experiment under the Alex Anthopoulos regime?
Should the Braves apologize? Yes and no. It's not their fault that Profar was juicing. They made an investment in good faith based on his 2024 results, which if you look, that is the only season where he was actually good at baseball. and yes, they do need to apologize because outside of the 2024 season, the rest of his previous stats show he's just not that guy. And the plan to having a below mid hitter like him as DH is baffling to me. Profar should be a bench utility guy at best. Compared to his peers, his defense sucks and his hitting is a liability as well. I see no reason to rely on him as a starter in any position. So for that part, yes. And this is another move where Alex Anthopoulos swore that this was going to be a game changer for the Braves and that he was making a good move. And they came up short. At some point, if you're a Braves fan, you have to start scrutinizing some of the moves that Alex Anthopoulos is doing and looking at what's actually coming out of it, because there's a higher standard with the Braves. Just like I'm a Red Sox fan, there's a higher standard in Boston. And there seems to be a lot of things happening. Well, you could say each piece individually when you look at them are not the Braves' fault. When you look at the totality of the circumstances, you kind of have to start wondering if something doesn't need to change, if they need to start evaluating whether or not they're keeping Alex Anthopoulos. Something has to be done because there's just too much failure where there shouldn't be.
Oh, absolutely. Shane, Marcus, I know you guys agree with this too. Like Tony just hit the nail on the head. There's so many inconsistencies. We saw this is becoming a failed experiment with the Sean Murphy experiment. The dude is injured more than he plays. And when he plays, it's below par at best. And then now the issue with Jerks and Profar. And now we're also talking about the fact that, we're a year and a half after Ronaldo Lopez hadn't played, but we don't know what's going to happen with that one. Then we're still debating. We don't know what's going to happen with Hurston Waldrop. He's having surgery. We know that. Oh my God, Spencer Schwellenbach is also having surgery in his elbow. Shane, let me ask you this. What do you think has to transpire in order to right the ship permanently in Atlanta? Do you heard what Tony just said. Do they maybe need to consider moving on from AA? What do you think, Shane?
I think that there's some moves that need to be made, especially pertaining to depth in certain areas. The Braves have a lot of young talent, but you can't just rely on that to get you by, especially, as we see with this Braves team, the number of injuries that they seem to have every year. At some point you got to start thinking about shopping around. And if you're really wanting to make a splash, you're going to have to go after some big names. And if AA doesn't take that shot here in the next couple of years, then yeah, they're going to be picking in there at the entrance saying, hey, you need to go. We'll help you pack if needed. But the thing about Profar too is, the Braves got him from San Diego in the midst of the PED scandal that he had the first time. So, and then he still secured a bag from the Braves and then gets caught again. As Tony mentioned, he was subpar kind of to begin with, but he had one great season, got into that PED scandal. The Braves signed him to another year. With the big bag, $16 million a year, I believe. He was just trying to cheat the game. Why not just go back to a subpar player with that much money in the bank account now? He's tainted his name now for sure with this second test.
Absolutely. And Marcus, do you think that there maybe Alex Anthopoulos needs to get out of the boys are back, bring the band back together? Because I feel a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel this way too, that he is living too much in the past to look for the future. What do you think?
Baseball's changed, and I just think that first off, there's way too much pressure put on any of what would be considered a quote unquote small market team now, and that's what the Atlanta Braves are. I think that the money that's being spent in their division along in the NL East from the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe that it's almost impossible for a team like the Braves, the Marlins, or the Nationals at this point to even try to compete in this new baseball designed market, which is why there's a big, massive problem that's heading into the 2027 season. And, I'm always about and I'm always going to be for players getting their money, but it also has to be a competitive fairness. And I just think that there's not that anymore right now in baseball. And I just think that there's really literally only a couple of teams now that are literally playing for a championship year in and year out because they can afford the payroll. It's not even about developing young players anymore, because you've got a team like the Dodgers that just keeps buying any and everybody they possibly can. And then you got a team like the Mets trying to jump in and do the same thing. Oh, here comes San Diego Padres now trying to do the same thing. Chicago Cubs got obviously a massive payroll if they want to use it. And then those are the teams that you got. You have no chance for the Colorado Rockies, Pittsburgh Pirates of the world to now the Atlanta Braves to really have a shot. So of course, when you see players that they're leaning on to be a big rise in the organization, and someone like Profar who now gets suspended, it's a massive blow to a team that is trying to right a ship. And how much blame can you really put on upper management when first off they're strapped to a certain space? So I guess really what it all falls down to is that you have no choice but to try to develop young talent, and that's a crapshoot. You know that in baseball, half the kids that get drafted never even make it to the bigs. They waste away in the minor leagues. So so the Braves have, they where they used to win was that they always had a great farm system that could come, they could develop the team, develop the players, and they could come up and compete in the state of perennial powerhouse for a long time. But now when you're literally playing against these juggernaut teams with massive payrolls, it just makes it almost impossible for a young team to have a chance, especially when you're a young small market team.
And it's frustrating. It really is. It's disheartening too, because you see the buy here, pay here Dodgers literally buying up everybody imaginable, and then you're left with what? That's
But
like mediocre.
let's not exempt the Yankees. Let's not act like the Yankees won't do the same thing.
No,
It's
they
just
will,
the
yeah.
Dodgers. It's just the Dodgers have had the better luck the last couple big massive free agents, but the Dodgers have still chased those same players. I mean, the Yankees have still chased those same players. The Yankees still went after Ohtani. The Yankees still wanted Kyle Tucker on their team. The Dodgers just seem to be a more pleasant place to land, I guess.
Pretty name is what it is. Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, Tony, we saw the past couple days USA World Baseball Classic teams warmed up against the Giants and the Rockies.
Why is there a dog at our front door? Sorry, bro.
You're good.
But now, with the World Baseball Classic getting started tonight, with Australia and Chinese Taipei playing, what I want to know, kind of what I want you to let the listeners and the viewers out there know, kind of what the differences are in the rules from the World Baseball Classic to the MLB, and kind of what makes it interesting because of these rule changes that they use.
Well, and here's the thing. There's not going to be a lot of differences simply because of the fact that, a lot of these guys in the World Baseball Classic are MLB players. Like the Dominican Republic, their team has 16 All-Stars on their roster. So you really can't deviate too much. I think the biggest things are there are some hard caps on things like in the first round in pool play. There are limits as far as and even in the tournament, there are limits as far as how many pitches a pitcher can throw. Like in the first round, it's only 65 pitches. In quarterfinals, it's 80. Semifinals and finals, it's 95. Mandatory rest if they throw more than 50 pitches. It's 4 days. 30 pitches requires a minimum of 1 day rest. No pitcher can throw 3 consecutive days. There is a 10-run mercy rule if they're leading by 10 plus after 7. They are doing the ghost runner on extra innings. There is a pitch clock. I think it's very similar, but it might be a little shorter. It's 15 seconds if the bases are empty, 18-second timer with runners. They are not using the ABS. Some limited stuff on replay. There is a designated pitcher pool for teams to use if they need to. And Yeah, but that's really it. Like, as far as gameplay is concerned, there's not really a huge difference, and I think that they do it that way intentionally, simply because of the fact that a large portion, I think there's 190 total MLB players in the World Baseball Classic.
Wow, that's a lot. Like, I know it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it really is. All right, Marcus, now this one's for you. I'm really excited to ask you about this. You know, the news that the Professional Women's Hockey League is expanding. Chicago has been mentioned as a potential candidate for a new team. What does this say about the game of hockey as well as women's pro sports? You know, you and I talk about this regularly. We're huge advocates for women's sports, but what does this say to you, knowing that there is a real possibility that in the next 2 to 5 years, there will be a professional women's hockey team in Chicago?
Well, I love the fact that Chicago's gonna be part because, Chicago is one of the originals, when it came to the National Hockey League being established. So we should be a part of it for a women's league. I think that that's the only proper way for that to be, hey, being a part of something, from the beginning shows that your roots and your commitment. And I love the fact that Chicago, women's sports in Chicago, period, is celebrated and honored. And just like we have Chicago Sky, we also have our women's soccer team, Chicago Star. Now we can potentially have ourselves a professional women's hockey team in Chicago, and I absolutely love that, and I want more of it. I'm hoping that soon there'll be a professional women's flag football team as well.
What would you name the Professional Women's Hockey League? If you had the opportunity to name the team, what would you name it based off of what you know about the city?
Well, okay. So they gave the basketball team Sky, right? Soccer was given stars, so which was probably based off of the 4 stars in the Chicago flag. If people are wondering, why would you name it the star? The stars represent something in the city Chicago flag. It's gonna probably be something definitely city centric usually. So I mean, that one's. I'm gonna say more than like it's probably gonna be some type of animal, woodland creature. That's what I'm thinking is probably how it's gonna end up landing. So what is
Look,
that?
Tony has his hand up.
I don't know. I don't know what the type of the Chicago what? I mean the Chicago Foxes. Yeah.
What would you name him, Tony?
There is a clear opportunity here to cause a rippling effect. Name them the Chicago Beans. There's that statue downtown.
Thank God you said bees, because if you would have said what I thought you were going to say, which is BEABER, I was going to say, stop it, dude. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And you came this close. Okay.
Never a dull moment on the Sportz Nuts, that's for sure.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, tell me you didn't think that was about what
I did.
When he said something, I'm like, no.
I was like,
no.
Did you see my eyes? I was like, oh, please.
No.
Oh, like I said, never a dull moment on this show.
Yeah, but no, bees, yes, yes.
No,
like
the bean, like the statue downtown.
The beans, the Chicago Beans.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually think that'd be pretty damn cool, actually.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I dig it. I actually dig it. All right, Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, Marcus, we're coming to the end of the regular season here in men's college basketball, and with conference tourneys starting today for some mid majors, and next weekend for most all the Power 4 conferences. But start looking at it right now. Duke's the #1 overall seed, with Arizona, Michigan, and UConn being the other 1 seeds. I want to get your opinion on which one will actually end up being the #1 overall seed, more than likely, and which #1 seed you see maybe falling down to a 2.
Well, okay, so with the #1 seeds, they break down by conference, and so Duke clearly has the best chance in the ACC. Arizona that's Pac-10 now, if I'm correct, right? That's still Pac-10 with Arizona.
Big Ten.
Big 12. Big 12.
Big 12.
It's Big 12
yeah.
now. Big 12. Okay, so Arizona's Big 12 now. Michigan's Big 10. And then UConn's Big East. So and then you got Florida, who's sitting around in the SEC. So you can only have 4 number 1 seeds. Right. So I think Michigan for sure. I think they won the Big Ten conference. I think that they more than likely are going to win the Big Ten tournament. I mean, now, I mean, could another team like Michigan State win it or Illinois win it? Sure. There's a possibility. That's the beauty of the tournament. But I think Michigan's the favorite to come out of that as number 1. Arizona's played excellent basketball all season, so I definitely see Arizona being number 1 seed. I would be very shocked if Duke was taken down in the ACC. It's just not strong this year. Like North Carolina is nowhere near on their level, and I don't think most teams are. I'd be very surprised if Duke didn't come out of the ACC. So you got three ones right there. And then I guess kind of where it's left between is like Florida, UConn. How would that play out? Because one of them's going to end up being number 1 seed. But does that mean that they're going to win the tournament this year? I think that's the different question. So last year we saw the number 1s really kind of rule the tournament. This year I don't think it's gonna be the same this year. I don't think the number 1s are gonna just run through the tournament all the way to meeting each other in the Final Four.
Marcus, we saw a former Falcon who is also now a now no longer Chicago Bear. Drew Dahlman retired. What does that mean for you guys? I mean, he is actually still pretty well regarded here with the Atlanta Falcons fan base. I mean, there are people that actually still have his jerseys. That's how much of a fan favorite he was. What does this mean? He was only 27 years old, so he's a young gun still. What does that mean though for the Chicago Bears as a whole, knowing that that's a tough shoe you got to fill now with the draft and of course the free agency?
It was unexpected, but at the same time, it's also met with a lot of optimism because of the fact of the one thing I do know: you don't want a guy playing that's done, that he's not giving it his all. So the fact that he was able to come to the Chicago Bears and be very honest about this and say, hey, you know what, I'm done. It's not in me anymore. You know what? That's the right thing to do. I'm glad that it happened now, before free agency, before the draft. The Bears are now able to address it the right way, as opposed to if this had happened right before the season started. So the Bears have now got all their ammunition possible to be able to replace this center, whether they focus on doing it in-house because they got a full off season and they got a couple candidates in-house that they could look at. Kid they drafted last year, Luke Newman, he got some reps in practice last year as well as a preseason. So he's they could focus on him because the fact that they've got 2 really good guards on both sides of them. The Bears don't need to panic and a knee-jerk reaction. The Bears were actually over the cap, so this happening actually puts the Bears under the cap. The real thing is that they just have to make sure that they replace the level of, at least the talent. You might not be able to replace the level of talent, but you need to be able to replace the level of competency, because the center position is such a linchpin in the offensive line that the next guy that comes in needs to be able to still identify, make the proper calls to the quarterback, and have an exchange. Believe it or not, you still have to have that proper exchange from hiking the football to the quarterback. As crazy as that may sound, it could be a real problem if it's not done properly. And I saw that a couple years back when the Bears did have center issues which led them to signing Drew Dahlman. So replacing him is definitely a key thing, but it's not a panic, because the fact that it's still pretty much right when the new NFL season is beginning. And so the Bears now have plenty of time to address it, whether it's in-house, free agency, or the draft.
At least we don't have to worry about them doing the impulsivities of let's just sign willy-nillys off the street kind of thing. There's always that possibility that it happens, and then it comes and rears its ugly head and bites him in the backside. Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, Tony, I know we've talked about it here. This spring training so far, the start of the year off has been pretty amazing, and we've mentioned it. Boy, there's a lot of runs being scored right now. But I kind of want to switch and get your thoughts on some of the pitching, what you kind of see happening this year. I want to get your thoughts on maybe some of the favorite candidates for NL and AL Cy Young Award winners this year.
It's the one of the things that's going on right now with pitching when it comes into spring training is there are too many pitchers that are coming in already at 100% ready to go, like it's a regular season game. And that's a problem. That, in truth, and pitchers doing that is one of the reasons why we've seen such an increase in pitching injuries. It's not the pitch clock. It's not the loss of sticky stuff. It's literally just these guys are not ramping up the way that they should, and they're not giving their arm enough rest. We've got guys whose season ends the first week in November in the World Series that are already ramping back up in February. No, you really shouldn't be ramping up until you get to spring training, and especially your starters, because there is so much risk in not giving that arm proper time to rest. There is so much risk into bringing that to coming to 100% too much too fast. Like in the 90s, like Randy Johnson wasn't throwing 95 to 100 in spring training. It was, you got it. But when you got to the point where you were in August and September, you had to pray that it wasn't 100 when that fastball came across the plate. So it's because, like, and even Maddox, like, yeah, he was more of a control guy than velocity, but you didn't see him at 100% until at least like closer to the middle of the season. Like it was May to June at the earliest, and that's what it should be, because if you don't give your arm time enough to heal, you're going to see more injuries. That's why we've seen the increases in Tommy Johns. That's why we've seen the increase in rotator cuff injuries. All of these problems come from these guys not giving their arms enough time to rest. As far as the picks are concerned, until somebody dethrones Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens, they're going to be my picks for Cy Young. It's that they're too good. Now, I will say that Garrett Crochet, if he can manage to lock in, could be a great candidate in the American League. And then in the National League, that one I think is a little bit tougher simply because of the just because of the makeup. Like, some are going to try and say that Shohei could do it. Shohei is not a Cy Young pitcher anymore. He's been through quite a bit as a pitcher. His arm is really worn down. We're not going to see that. I mean, Shota Imanaga from the Cubs. The Cubs are a sleeper team this year. I know we talked about this last week. I think Shota has, if he can lock in and tighten up his accuracy, get his release points consistent for all of his pitches. And I think he's adding a pitch this year too, if I remember correctly. Shota is definitely one that could put some pressure. His arm looked great last year. I think he's kind of coming into his own. He's one of the newer players to come out of Japan. So he just needs that extra oomph. And if he gets it, then we could start to see some pressure on Paul Skeens for that Cy Young. I don't think it happens, but it's possible.
I like it. All right. So this next question is for both you and Marcus. Okay. So obviously we know opening day is literally knocking on the door. We're only a few weeks away from it. So it got me thinking, what is your go-to ballpark food and drink? Now, mine you can't go wrong with is having a long hot dog and even a hamburger, and of course an ice cold like Coke with it. So I'm going to start with you, Tony, and then I'm going to hear Marcus's afterwards. So Tony, what is your go-to food to go to a ballpark?
I don't go to a ballpark without getting a hot dog. Like, I'm not a peanuts guy. I don't like just cracking open those shells and all that. Like, that's not really my thing. I really don't even do sunflower seeds. But you give me a good glizzy and ice cold Dr. Pepper, and I can be all right. I'm no stranger to a cold beer, some ice cream helmet. But for me, the staples, I got to get at least one hot dog, and I got to get a nice cold Dr. Pepper, and usually also a bottle of water just to have just in case. But the hot dog and a soda is definitely where I start.
Yeah. Where'd Marcus go? Yeah. It's just something about, you sit down and you're obviously there for what, 2.5 now, 3 hours, not 4 or 5 hours anymore, but you're there for a little bit and you're
Thankfully.
like, man, how do I stay refreshed and everything? There he is. All right, Marcus. So what is your go-to food for a ballpark? Like, I mean, you heard mine.
Well,
Mine's the hot dog and a Coke.
So if you're going on the south side, usually you can get the option between hot dog or the Polish. It's hard for me to choose between both because they're both so delicious. But definitely those two are tops. But you know what, honestly, too, I'll tell you what, I love a ballpark cheeseburger usually with some onions. Usually those are fresh right off the grill. Tastes delicious. And my third little secret go-to is what it usually I like to try to find one of their specialties that they got for the year, and that's always something that's thrown in. But if nothing else, let me get a nice beef sandwich, please.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh man. What about you, Shane? What is your go-to ballpark food, man?
Well, first thing at a ballpark on a hot summer day, it's got to be a cold draft beer.
There you go.
being out there,
Extra cold. Extra cold.
yeah, being out there in the heat. But I am one. I do like sunflower seeds, kind of munching on them throughout the game. But the go-to, of course, for actual sandwich type is going to be a hot dog. It's a hot dog at a ballpark and at the turn on a golf course are just two things that you don't pass up. And definitely in the major league stadiums, finish it off with a batting helmet, soft serve. You can't go wrong with that. But now you go to the smaller parks like the high school stadiums and stuff like that to watch some games, and you cannot beat ice cold Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar.
There you go.
Oh man, my sugar's just jumped 300.
Diabetes.
No, you gotta say diabetes. Oh my goodness. All right, Marcus. So here's my final question for you. Who do you think can challenge the bad boys? They're back. The bad boys are back. The Detroit Pistons in the East are back. As we're heading into the end of the NBA season, who do you think can dethrone them for the East?
Well, so the Pistons are vulnerable, and that's what people need to understand. That I'm not sold on Detroit whatsoever. I'm actually more sold on Boston. I think that the Celtics have that championship pedigree. The Celtics have options. If Jaylen Brown is not having the best game, they've got other people on that team that can make a difference. In that trade for Nikola Vucevic was huge. I think that gave them another viable option. A good big man that stretches the floor can also get them rebounds, helps them down low, and they're going to need that because if they had not gotten Nikola Vucevic, then the New York Knicks would have been able to usurp them. I think that it really helps having him because if they did not, the way that Karl Anthony Towns has been playing along with Jalen Brunson, the Knicks are definitely a very viable threat to the Pistons as well. And I know that Cleveland Cavaliers have kind of come on a little bit late, but I'm just never sold on Donovan Mitchell, James Harden in the playoffs. So those are my two biggest threats to the Pistons is going to be the Celtics and the Knicks. And I think that if it really comes down to it, if it comes down to where it's the Pistons and the Celtics, who gets to go to the finals, I think the Celtics will take them. If it ends up being the Pistons against the Knicks to see who goes to the finals, I think that is the Pistons' best shot to be able to get through because there's just been so many times where I feel like even though everybody expects Karl Anthony Towns to dominate and be this driving force, he's just come up short so many times that I don't believe in it. So I think that Detroit will probably find a way against it, but I just think that Boston's got too much of a championship pedigree and they got too many offensive options that Detroit just doesn't have right now because it's Cade Cunningham or bust when it comes to offensively for Detroit.
I love that. Y'all, it's been such a blast having you both on. We won't have you on next week because we're off for the week, because it's the end of the season. But I want to tell you this, Marcus, man, Tony, man, I have a blast. You guys are definitely our other brothers. We love you guys to the pieces. Real quick, Tony, let everybody know where they can find you, and then Marcus, let everybody know where they can find you.
Podcast named Deferred tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. I have the Facebook page working properly now. So if you go onto Facebook and search Podcast Named Deferred, you will be able to catch the show there tonight or any of the Wire to Wire sports socials. Morning Minute is on TikTok every day at FGD7 spelled out. Just a quick update on what's going on in the world of baseball. Sometimes I'll share other stuff that I think of, but mostly it's just that. And Monday Night Sports Report, 10 p.m. Eastern, also on the Wire to Wire Sports Social. Love those guys. Definitely. Please check us out. And make sure if you're watching the show for the first time, drop a comment and let these guys know you appreciate what they're doing. And please subscribe. They do appreciate it.
Thank you. And Marcus, where can everybody find you? When is your next episode?
Man, well, right now the biggest thing that's really came for us, it came for me, has been Unfiltered Sports, as people can see out there in the YouTube world. If you're watching, Time Cover Sports Network channel is where you come find me. That's every Monday, 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time. On the East Coast, it's 7 to 9 p.m. Out West, 5 to 7. That's what we're talking, all national news. So I know that all your listeners out there, whatever you guys like, trust me, we're gonna have something for you, and you're gonna love it. And then obviously I'm still doing local shows. I'm a local Chicago guy, so I got my local sports show on Saturday that kicks off Truth About Chicago Sports. You can find that on the WRMN app, and that's every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And if you missed that, we've got the Truth About Chicago Sports podcast. The same with Unfiltered Sports. It's Prime Covered Sports Network. You can go find us on the Spotify podcast as well to watch and listen to any show.
Gentlemen, we will talk to you soon. I want you guys to have a fantastic evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Y'all take care.
Blessings, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
You too, man. All right, so let's go, Shane. Let's get into it. Well, he is staying long-term with TNT. What am I saying? What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that we get to see Jeff Rancour more. That's a pretty big move for you to have this happen. But, what does this possibly say about Brandon Gaudin? Do you think he could be on the outside looking, on the inside, outside looking in? What do you think possibly could happen with him?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a great move for TNT. Francoeur, he's kind of he's not a big kind of color commentator in a sense, but he knows the game well, and was a prodigy of the game coming straight out of high school playing it. So he's gotten a little bit more comfortable here the past few years doing it. I could see this, turning into something like Smoltz has with ESPN kind of deal with Francoeur, a long tenure type deal to where he'll be the face of the MLB on TNT for many years to come, barring any kind of slip up stuff like that, or just, want to be a regular human being at a point. But I think though that also in that same sense, the world of sports broadcasting changes so much nowadays, and it's really not the broadcasting world's fault. It's media rights and all these other type of deals going on with that. So, it's hard to say, people being on the outside looking in, because there's always people on the outside looking in, be it different networks and stuff like that. I mean, how many times have we seen, ESPN go from with one reporter, and they get let go, then go back to Fox, and then go to CBS, and then come back to ESPN at a certain point.
That's ever so true.
But it's
there's no ever real definition. They're all, let's just go round and robin with each other,
Yeah. And the great thing about the sports world is you can, because you're basically, it's the truest form of unbiased news, in my opinion. So that's one of the things. But it's smart for these networks to nail down these color commentators, and especially the former athletes that played that sport. Kind of locking them down, getting multi-year deals, and becoming the face and the voice there on TV for that programming.
Absolutely. But shout out to Jeff Francoeur and everything. I had the privilege of playing against him in football. He's good. He's a great guy. Great person to talk to. If you ever want to have someone to really sit down and pick their brains, that'd be the guy you want to do, because he's pretty good at talking to you. He's very knowledgeable of the game. He's just your basic person. He will sit down and talk to you, and you're gonna. You'll come away instantly smarter than what you were going into that conversation. He's pretty cool with that one. All right, so Shane, let's look at the newest rankings out for college softball. There isn't that much change going on, yes, but there have been some new faces on this list. There's one in particular, and I didn't upload the picture, unfortunately, in time. But number 23, Grand Canyon. That's pretty cool, because Grand Canyon has only been known for their basketball forever, but now we're getting to see them in softball. So it got me thinking this question: do you personally think that there's somebody that could challenge the Texas Techs, the UCLAs, the Oklahomas, or just in general, the entire West? I mean, there's got to be somebody, and I know I sent you the picture. I know there's got to be somebody you think that could challenge those names, right?
Oh yeah, well, Najee is not looking too hot the start of the season for Texas Tech. It looks like everybody's studied up and watched plenty of film. So the ace, she's not performing up to what we saw last year for her. So that's going to be interesting to see throughout the year for them. But you look at the SEC, you've got Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, all right there. So it's not just the West, but it is mainly Power Four conferences that we see, hot to start the year. Of course, my Hokies are sitting right outside the top 10. Had a couple losses, but are looking pretty strong right now. Nebraska, another team that lost a couple big games early in the season to quality opponents, but has bounced back. Kind of with a vengeance, and looks dangerous. But I want to chime in with you, and shout out to the first non-Power Four conference team making it into the rankings with Grand Canyon for sure. There's a lot more teams out there that are right there on the verge, being for mid-majors and stuff like that. So it's great to see the gap kind of shrinking between the two.
Oh yeah, I mean, there are some big ones. Like, I mean, I'm looking at the list. Look, like Arkansas, they're doing really good. They're number 9, and then look all the way to the very bottom. South Carolina, man, they were reportedly they were going to be one of the teams to be in this college softball regime for 2026, and they're barely on the top 25. They're still in the top 25. I'm not discrediting them, no, but they're not where people had these expectations. I think the expectations were set so high to start with them, and it's also with Clemson. Shane, you don't see Clemson on this list anymore. And remember, this is only the second year since their inception that they don't have any of those players anymore from the original start of the campaigns. So naturally, there's going to be a lot of growing pains, but.
They were on the back half of that top 25 anyway, early to start. And
remember, they lost like 3 in a row.
Yeah, they didn't benefit from playing a tough schedule early in the season. And I've watched a couple of the South Carolina games. They're kind of in the same boat that Najee's in. Their pitching is not what it was expected to be this year so far. So like I said, over time, a lot of pitchers, will dial in and stuff like that, and we'll see what we have later on into the season. But some of those teams, up there, wholeheartedly deserve to be up there, and it's going to make for some very interesting matchups, I do believe.
Absolutely. All right, so I know I've asked you guys already. I've already got Shane's answer on this one. So I want to hear people chime in. I really wished Matt had been here for this question too, but he's off. It's regarding to with baseball and the food you eat. So we have 42 people watching right now. I would love for you guys to tell us, what is your food and your drink of choice when you go to watch America's pastime? You can let us know in the comment section. While we're waiting on that one, Shane's got a sports story to share. Shane, go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I saw a little picture and a story to go along with it the other day, and kind of brought a little laugh up to me. But I want to talk about Bob Gibson, a true competitor. Um, let's talk about Gibby for a second. He was with the yeah, he was with the St. Louis Cardinals from 1959 to 1975. Played all of his MLB seasons with that one team. Signed with St. Louis after a brief stint with the Harlem Globetrotters, believe it or not. But he's got a career stat line that definitely put him in the Hall of Fame. 251 wins, over 3,000 strikeouts, a career ERA under 3. So great. But the story I saw kind of tells you a little bit about how much of a competitor he is. Was a great player, perennial all-star. But his last pitch he ever threw was a grand slam that he gave up to Pete Lecoq. And that doesn't taste, leave a good taste in your mouth. So the MLB, they used to have an old timers game back many years ago, and Bob Gibson was pitching, and Pete came up to the plate. Well, Bob proceeded to plunk him right in the side and give him a free trip to first base. Even after all those years, he still remembered that and was just a hard-nosed competitor about his last pitch being a grand slam in the MLB to him that he hit him in a game many years later. So just saw that story, got a little laugh, and wanted to share it with you guys.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that one. That's a pretty good story. My sports story happened today, actually, and this absolutely blows my socks off. Everybody, when they see this, you're blowing off of this too. I guarantee it. Women's basketball is very competitive. We know that. We absolutely know that for time in and time out. It's always been competitive. It's fun to watch. Well, little did you know that it can get pretty aggressive. I mean, any sport can get aggressive. We know that. It's just human nature. It's sports. Well, South Alabama and Coastal Carolina, in the women's Sun Belt tournament game, it started today. The Sun Belt Conference tournament started today. It left 8 players being ejected, and it knocked a referee to the ground. She was absolutely knocked. I mean, if you guys go and watch this, I'm not going to post a video because it's pretty gruesome to watch, but we don't want to get in trouble with that. But there was a player. She walloped the referee, knocked her straight out. And I guarantee, and you know this, Shane, it's coming. You know it's coming. The Sun Belt is going to lay the hammer on both programs. It's not whoever wins advances kind of thing. No, they're both going to get popped pretty hard. I guarantee there's going to be some form of fines that come about due to the coaches and or both the program. I mean, both could probably get penalized from this. But if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's on ESPN, it's on Twitter, it's literally everywhere. I mean, if you go and you look, you will see I sent the video to Shane and to Matt and to Ben, who are a part of the Sportz Nutz, and I said, this is crazy. This is absolutely something you don't see on a regular basis. And I mean, it took my breath away. So if you guys want to get a chance to look at it, I'm not going to post it because I don't want to get flagged on there, but it is on Twitter. It is on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. I mean, even on ESPN. I promise you it's there. Go and look. Just look up South Alabama, Coastal Carolina brawl. And by the way, South Alabama, University of South Alabama is in Mobile, Alabama. It's I know exactly where it's at because it's only 10 minutes from where I grew up, where I was born. And it's not a good look for any program to get into fights, but let alone women's basketball. When South Alabama women's basketball, they haven't been relevant for a while, and they're finally getting over that hurdle to start the process of making themselves look relevant, and then you go and do this boneheaded decision, getting into a fight. So yeah, it was pretty gruesome fight. Check it out. All right, now we come to everybody's favorite segment. It is the honorable mentions. We give you usually 1 to 3, 2 to 4 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of, or they just don't cover, period. And we want to bring light to it. So my first honorable mention, goodness, is to the Atlanta Falcons for being awarded the 5th European game this upcoming season as they play in Madrid. This is going to be a great moment for the team, for the fans, as well as the league, because they're going to get even more exposure in Spain, especially with what's going on in the world right now. We're not going to talk politics here because that's not what we do, but what's going on in the world, sports unites, and it'll be nice to get away from all this hoopla to see football. Shane, give us your first honorable mention, please.
My first honorable mention is going to go to the Charlotte Hornets. They beat Dallas last night, bringing their record to 500 on the year. So, a great deal. I know that they've got Boston coming up, I believe maybe tonight or tomorrow, and that's going to be a tough one for them. But they are 15-3 in the last 18 games. 19-2 with the starting lineup of LaMelo, Khan, Brandon Miller, Mike Bridges, and Diabate on the floor. 19-2 as that with that starting lineup. So hey, maybe they're starting to figure some things out, but definitely shout out to them.
And definitely shout out to, because the Hornets are up 21 over Celtics at halftime. So they're laying the hammer. So really,
let's see if we can keep the foot down.
My second honorable mention is shout out to the hottest team in the NHL. No, it is not the Lightning, even though they were at one point. No, it's not Colorado. No, it's not Carolina. No, it's the Dallas Stars. They're winners of 9 straight, about to be 10 straight. They've pulled to within 6 points of the Colorado Avalanche for the best record in the league, which, by the way, folks, you don't want to have that title. You do, but you don't, because if you have that title, you'd most likely are not winning the Stanley Cup. Just saying. So the rest of this NHL season, man, it's going to be absolutely epic. But shout out to the Dallas Stars, who are currently the hottest team in all of NHL, on the verge of winning their 10th straight game. Wow. That's hard to do, and especially in hockey. It's hard to do. So, I mean, because hockey is not just your willy-nilly back and forth, up and down. No, it's very rigorous. It's a lot of work. So shout out to the Dallas Stars. Shane, what's your next honorable mention, please?
I want to give a shout out to might butcher the name, but Will Gasparino of UCLA. He's on an incredible run to start this baseball season with the team. They've played 11 games so far. Stat line for him is he's got a 378 average, 10 home runs, 22 RBIs, 16 runs scored, and 14 hits in just 11 games. So he's on a tear, and one of the reasons why they're up there in the rankings too. So definitely shout out to him and UCLA for what they've got going on to start this baseball season.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's so many good things that are transpiring this baseball. I hope that this continues. I really do, man. I mean, Shane, I'm literally like, oh, please let this be the start of something good, because we have that looming S word coming about with the baseball season next year. I don't want to have that happen. I don't want it. It's a strike, but that's the S word, folks. This is a G-rated show. I don't want to have it. I don't want strikes. Just get the bleeping stuff fixed and go about it the other way.
I want to see strikes on the field, not at the fence.
On the field, not as an overall. Come on, we don't have that happen. Don't deprive us sports fanatics, or as we call ourselves, the sports nuts here. Don't have us sports nuts deprived of what we love. Hello, it's sports. Like, come on. My third honorable mention, shout out to Kenneth Walker III. Why am I giving him a shout out? Well, Seattle just did an absolute boneheaded thing. They didn't tag him. They didn't sign him. What does that mean? He is an unrestricted free agent, which means he's going to go anywhere he wants. What a way to treat a Super Bowl MVP, might I add. Hey, yeah, congratulations. You've won the Super Bowl MVP. What are you going to do next? I'm going to go find another team because we're not going to sign you. Instead of going to Disney World, which he did, but they're going to send him somewhere else. I hope wherever he goes, and if it's not Seattle, he goes wherever he wants, and he absolutely runs over them or for the next, 10 years. That's my thoughts on that one. Shane, give us your final honorable mention, please, sir.
My final honorable mention is going to stay in the NFL and go out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's hard to give them credit, especially being a NFC South rival. But hey, we're going to give credit where credit's due on this one.
You shout out them. I got to give this to you.
Yeah, but Sterling Shepard came up just a bit short on his catch and yardage bonus for the year. Was in there because they had multiple injuries to their wide receiving core. Ended up inactive for the last 4 games of the season. But the Buccaneers brass came up and said, "Hey, we're going to go ahead and give you that $500,000 because it wasn't your fault that these receivers came back from injury and were able to help our team." Shout out to the brass and the ownership there for the Buccaneers doing the right move and giving the man a bonus, well deserving of it too for what he did for that team holding it down.
Absolutely. I got to say, Shane, you look good frozen there, by the way.
Oh, I was?
Yeah, you're still frozen. It's like you're smiling, so it's okay though. Yo, we have had, there we go. Now he's back. Yo, we have had an absolute amazing show. I want to give a special thank you to Tony Gladstone of the Wire to Wire Sports Network for coming on. And he's our baseball guy. He talks baseball all the time. It's so much fun to talk to somebody that knows baseball like this. Sorry, Shane, I know you know baseball too, but it's nice to have another refreshing face who knows baseball as well. It means the world. And then also to have our guy Marcus. I mean, Marcus takes time. As you guys heard, Marcus has a very busy schedule. And the fact that he takes time out of his evening that he could be spending with his loved ones to come and talk to us, that really does mean a lot. So definitely thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Tony, for coming on. It really does mean a lot to us. We can't thank you guys enough. So also want to let everybody know, Ralph Williams, RW Media, give him a follow, give him a subscribe. He is doing amazing things with the network. Really honored that he is a part of our network. He will actually be start hosting of next episode on Friday because I'm traveling down to Atlanta. So I might not be there in time of the start of the show. Just depends on traffic, and everybody knows Atlanta traffic is absolutely the worst. But Ralph will be there. You'll see Ralph, Matt, Shane, and our guy Ben will be there, and then I will come on because Friday, the next episode is the season 5 season finale. Man, Shane, can you believe we have made it to this? That'll be episode 204. We have done 204. We have done 5 seasons of this show. I mean, what does that mean to you, knowing that we have been on this camera so many times? I mean, it's literally been over 204 because, I mean, you had your Saturday sport shorts and everything. But what does that mean to you that we're about to enter into season 6 of the Sportz Nutz?
Oh man, it seems like just yesterday we were starting season 1. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, and we appreciate everybody that listens out there and follows, likes, subscribes, because it gives us a little bit of validation that we're not as dumb as we think. But definitely getting ready for season 6 and season 5 ending. It's one of those things. You look back in every book that's got a story to it. Is definitely a chapter book. So you're always grateful for the chapter that you're in, but you're ready for the next chapter. So looking forward to season 6 and many more after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had our we've had our challenges because we've had people come, we've had people go. But the three musketeers that we always call ourselves is still there. You have myself, Matt, Shane. We are here to provide you with the best sports coverage there is. Remember, we are the Sportz Nuts, and we wholeheartedly believe we are the greatest sports talk show ever. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to us. We greatly appreciate it. So here's what's going to come up next. So you guys have a list of everything that's coming on. Again, we want to say thank you to Marcus and Tony for taking time out of their evenings to come on our show. Give them a follow. Definitely, they're great guys. We love having them on. So Friday, March the 6th, which is this Friday, is the season 5 finale, episode 204. You will have Ralph Williams to start. You will have Matt, Shane, and Ben also, and then I will come on by I would say probably by the second segment of the show. I will be in our at the house, and we will get set up and everything. So I'll be there for sure. But then we take a well-deserved break. We're going to take a week off like we always do. We would normally come back on the following Friday. No, I have knee replacement coming on March the 12th, which is next Thursday. So we're going to push the start of season 6 to Monday, March the 16th, which is episode 205. It is the premiere of season 6. We have Kai Carlin of the USA Today. He is an exclusive journalist for the Philadelphia 76ers. We have a lot of people who know him very well. Our buddy Mark Livingston also knows him. He said that is an absolute steal. There's so many people that have recommended him to me, so I definitely honor that he has agreed to come on our show. Then episode 206 will be Wednesday, March the 18th. That will also be hosted by Matt. Excuse me, it'll be hosted by Shane and Ralph. Matt and Ben will not be on. They don't come on Wednesday. So it'll be those two. I will see if we have a guest. If not, you still have those two. And I guarantee you're in great hands with them. That's why they run the show. And Shane, in case you guys don't know this, Shane's also our director. He's the director of the show. And people don't know this. Shane texts me and lets me know time. Like, so we're always making sure to pay attention to time. So you're definitely in good hands with that one. And then on Friday, March the 20th, episode 207, our good friend Jerry White of the Jerry White Show, he is going to join the show. He's going to talk about the NFL draft, his outlook for the Buffalo Bills, because he is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. Remember, he came on our show during training days with the Sportz Nuts. So Jerry will be on. Really excited to have him on. And then Monday, March the 23rd is episode 208. Now, I also have a special request for everybody who's tuning in. We always enjoy your interactions. We have some of the best interaction ever and some of the best fans ever. So we need your help. And I know you're probably thinking, why do you need our help? Well, we want to hear from you. Message us either on our YouTube page, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, which is both at the Sports Nuts, which is the same on Facebook and on Twitter at the Sports Nuts. You can even message us through Shane's Facebook page. You can message through Matt's, through Ben's. You can even email us. The email is BrandonKeeler@radio@gmail.com. I want you guys to give us a topic or two that you would like for us to talk about or debate with us. We would love a guest speaker to come on for about 10, 15 minutes at max and debate with us. So what you do is you'll give us your two ideas that you think we should talk about. We will come together and talk about who gave us the best ideas to talk about, and then we will contact you and say, hey, we want you to come on for 10 minutes and debate with us. We will try to have a intro, even created it just for you, that you have been on our show. You will get the opportunity to debate with us. You're going to get your name put out there internationally as well as nationally and regionally. But you have until April the 20th of this year to submit your ideas. And we are always excited to have the opportunity to have a guest speaker come in and debate with us. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight and everybody who commented, thank you guys so much. We greatly appreciate it. Shane, give your final goodbyes, sir.
Oh yeah, well, as I said, to start the show, Hump Day is done, and it's all downhill from here. It's supposed to be beautiful the rest of the week here in our region. 70s, mid 70s, nice, cool breeze coming through. So go enjoy yourself outdoors for the first time this year. What it seems like really to have a sustained stretch of great good weather like this. But definitely just remember, love everybody, treat everybody with kindness. Remember Lou Holtz and his family. As they go through a tough time with his passing. To such an iconic member of the sports world in general. He created great teams on the field, but he created greater men in the lessons that he taught. So definitely, thoughts and prayers go out to them. But may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. As I always tell you guys, well, as our good friend Matt will always tell you guys, if you're going to partake in some adult libations, drinking, call a ride share. Don't do something stupid. Don't get flagged in a game of life. But the last thing you want to do is you take a sip and you get a little tipsy and you have the whoops behind you. Because if you do, then the world a whole lot of hurting. You in trouble. We ain't bailing you out.
Don't pull a Miles Garrett. Get your 9th speeding ticket since 2017.
Exactly. So just keep your nose clean, guys. That's all we ask. We enjoy all of our fans. We enjoy all of our audience coming. We'd like to see you still be there. We don't need to see you behind bars or not here. So just be good, be smart. And as I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down Y. It's the greatest sports that ever was. You guys have a fantastic evening. You guys have a good rest of your week. I will see you sometime on Friday after the show has started, but you're in good hands. Until then, you guys have a fantastic night. Enjoy this outros. There's 2 more that we had to air, and then we have the new one. Y'all take care. Good night.